Good morning. I'm gonna be a little quiet because my partner's still sleeping. Today is June 21st, which is the third and final day of Queer Blackathon run by Jessi over at Bowties and Books. And I completely forgot about this until I saw their live on last night, but I still really want to participate, so I'm gonna budget a little, and I'm not really going to participate in the readathon because it's not the right time, but I'm still going to participate in the spirit of the readathon by reading queer books about and by Black authors, or people, not always about Black authors. And I'm going to start with Sorrowland today, which was the group book, and maybe I can get it finished on my drive to and from work today. I don't know what it's about. I know it's by River Solomon, and I loved The Jeep by them. So I'm excited to read another book by them, but no idea what I'm getting myself into with it, so it's exciting, and I will read that today and update you when I'm home from work.
Alright, so I am some of the way into Sorrowland. I should have checked. 7 hours left, so I'm 5 hours. I'm almost halfway through because it's a 12-hour book. I have 7 hours left, so that's 5 hours in. Anyway, into Sorrowland by River Solomon. So to talk about what this is about before I get into my thoughts, it is about a young girl, really. She's 15 at the start of the novel, who runs away from a cult where she was married to the cult leader. And shortly thereafter gives birth, and the book itself goes back and forth between her flashbacks to time in the cult, kind of told non-linearly. Like you'll get like a moment from when she was younger, a moment from when shortly before she left, so in between there, and then you get elements of her current life and as it progresses, of her continuing to flee this cult and some of the more interesting supernatural elements going on in her life. And it is just fascinating. It's got elements of the exploration of God that I got out of The Color Purple. It's got like some of those elements in it, but from a totally different angle. Elements almost of like Lakewood in the like human experimentation elements, so that's interesting. And it's just so, it's got such a horrifying vibe to it. Like, it's not actively scary. I'm not like on the edge of my seat, like, are they gonna make it out of this? Are they gonna survive? That's not where I'm at. There are some really creepy moments. It's more just tense. And it feels so personal and yet so what's the word I want? There is a word I'm thinking of and I cannot, it's like on the tip of my, but like just so, not introspective, that's not the word I want, just so human. It's so zoomed in on these experiences, and even though it's this wild idea, it's not that wild. And so it creates this kind of just, it's uncomfortable, but in a wonderful way. So I am probably gonna get through it tonight if I really buckle down, if not tomorrow. And then I will move on from there. So we'll see what I read after that. I finished Sorrowland. I actually like perfectly got it timed so that like right as I was pulling into my parking space coming home today, the book ended. It was quite brilliant timing. I almost don't want to say too much more about it just because I think it's kind of one of those books it's almost better to go into and experience for yourself. I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to like warn about. I mean, there's definitely trigger warnings. I think the big ones, obviously racism and homophobia, are pretty heavily prevalent there. Would be the two big ones, but then the other thing is just a lot of graphic content, specifically body horror and sexual content. So just be aware of those, but there's not really anything I can say that like I definitively hated. I think it was brilliantly written. It was beautifully written. The characters were so interesting. The setting was so neat. There was some stuff in the middle, towards the end, going into like the final act of the book that like confused me a little. I kind of picked up on it later, but like there was some stuff there that was a little confusing. And then the ending, to me, I didn't quite like. I felt like it kind of ended up a little too happy at the end. I mean, is it happy? It's not happy. To call it happy would be grossly ignorant, but it just seemed like things kind of, I want to say, I don't know how to verbalize what my issue is without going into spoilers, and I don't want to do that. Again, I really recommend this, and I really think it's best experienced kind of on your own, figuring things out. So I don't want to say more about the plot than I already have. I really don't, but some beautiful exploration of gender and whether or not, how much gender even matters. Yeah, there's something else of it. Like I said, the talk about God and the religious aspect of it was really interesting. It's kind of, the word I would give it is like decolonization of faith would maybe be the phrase I would throw in there. And just a lot of like anti-nationalist messages there that I thought were really well done. So I'm gonna quickly figure out the rating for it, and I will tell you what my final rating is. If I had to guess, I'm gonna say about a 4.82. It's my guess, but we'll see. 4.75, a little lower than I thought. But 4.75 is fantastic out of 5. I will write up a review for that. And then the next thing I will be reading, which I will actually jump almost immediately into because I have some chores I need to do, is going to be Let's Talk About Love by Kann, which is, pardon me, about it's a young adult romance, I think. So we'll see how it goes, because as a genre, that is, I don't know. But maybe it'll be more new adult. Maybe that'll be the thing. But this is about a young woman whose girlfriend broke up with her when she came out as ace. And then she starts feeling things for a young boy. So I'm here for this bi ace rep, like, thank you, please. And I'm really interested to see where it will go. But I'm hoping it'll be fun and cute and maybe touch on some deeper topics of like ace phobia. But yeah, that's what I will be picking up next. I will update you when I'm somewhere third of the way, halfway through, somewhere thereabouts. Okay, I'm actually in front of a bookshelf because I'm gonna record my mid-year freakout after this mid-year, yeah, whatever. But I am halfway through Let's Talk About Love. Not halfway through, I'm like a quarter of the way through. And I'm liking some of it. I don't like the contemporary elements, but the stuff about like her struggles with her parents and her sister and the familial drama of it, not really into the whole, I don't want to be a lawyer, but my parents want me to part. I'm not enjoying that part. I am really, really loving the asexual representation and the discussion there. Like literally the first chapter of this book just came out and was like, all your insecurities about being ace, here they are. Okay, sorry, my partner started cooking and then I ate dinner. But what I was saying was just the like discussions it's having about the way people perceive asexuality or make assumptions or just ace phobia in general are being really well done. I will say now I've read more because I read while I was eating dinner and I'm at like 50% now, and basically everything's the same. I like the interpersonal relationships going on except for with her family. I'm just not really interested in her what do I want to do with my life struggles, and how do I tell my parents I don't want what they want for me, which is just something I've never been able to relate to because my parents have always been very supportive, which I realize is, I'm lucky to have that, but so because of that, it's just kind of been a bit of a hard to connect with that side of the story. The romance though, I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like, the romantic lead is almost a little too perfect. Also, he like came on so strong, but not in like, and he's trying to be romantic way, but like, I don't know, the idea of like, my coworker's been down a little bit, let me cook her lunch. Like, that's, I don't know, to me feels like maybe overstepping your boundaries, but that's where I feel right now. I am liking it, I just am not loving it, but I do really love some of the elements of it.
I love the way these books have been ending just when I need them to. I am getting ready for bed. I'm just getting myself some pita chips and hummus. But I just finished Let's Talk About Love, and I liked it. I don't know my final rating. I'll either do it tonight or first thing in the morning, but I will let you know when I film my next clip and start my next book. But it was cute. There were some things I wish could have been done better. I think the family element was still the weakest part of it for me. I loved the friendship stuff that was discussed, although quite frankly I still think her friend is a jerk. But that's fine. The romance was cute. I even liked kind of how it happened. There was like, you know, typical romance third act conflict, but I think it was not as like, I don't know, it wasn't like rom-com. This could have been solved with a 30-second conversation kind of conflict. It was nice. The only thing is I kind of wish we had seen more of the actual practical realities of dating in an allosexual, asexual relationship. Because like most romances, it kind of ends when they get together. And there was some discussion about like how they would make that work because he's allosexual and she's ace. But not enough, in my opinion. And obviously that's not what the purpose of it was, but I think that would have been something I would have liked to see more. But in the morning, I think I'm going to be picking up How Long Till Black Future Month, which I don't know for sure is queer or not, but it came up. So I'm assuming at least one of the short stories will include queerness. And I'll let you know in the morning what my rating is for Let's Talk About Love.
So I maybe lied to you guys last night and I didn't start How Long Till Black Future Month. I forgot how annoying the timer on my toaster is. I'll be back. Okay, what do y'all think? Peanut butter or cream cheese on my toast? Maybe we do one of each today. Anyway, so starting from the beginning, Let's Talk About Love. The rating for that came out to 3.75 out of 5. I really liked it, sort of. Contemporary just really isn't my thing, and I'm trying, but it's just a struggle. I did like this more given that they were older, so maybe I just need to try more of adult. I'm sorry, they're mowing the lawn. This is not a good time to film a clip, but I'm gonna go with it. Maybe I just need more older contemporary. I would put this as, like, on my spreadsheet, I listed it as new adult. I know that's not really a genre used anymore outside of, like, smut, but it's like college age, you know? So I did like that more, especially because it had more of the, like, you know, struggling with things like figuring out career paths, and even that's something I'm kind of a little bit past. But it just was more relatable struggles, and the romance element of it wasn't like I mean, there was kind of an implication of like forever and always, but like it wasn't. And so I think that kind of thing where it's like the YA contemporaries, I just end up getting so exhausted with the romantic elements because they're like, this is my forever, over, always, and you know, and it's just, I don't, you're 15, hun. It's not gonna last. Anyway, maybe I'm just bitter. Anyway. So 3.75. Also, I thought my main complaint was just the characters weren't super deep. I mean, they weren't bad and they all had things, but they were all kind of a little one note. You know, the love interest to cut. His name just completely went out of my mind, like mid-word. Anyway, the love interest was kind of a little too perfect. The her best friend, Alice's best friend, was just a little too abrasive. Like, come on, you really tell me that a couple, and her other best friend, the guy was, I don't know, just kind of bland. He was just there, but like, you really tell me this couple argues about their wedding fund being used for bail money and they're still I don't know. Anyway, so that was kind of my thoughts on it. It wasn't bad. There were just a couple little things that didn't quite work for me. I know I said in the last clip that I would be starting How Long Till Black Future Month, but then I didn't because I was driving to work this morning, and when I read, sorry, that was weird. When I read short story anthologies, I like to be able to jot down my thoughts as I finish each story. And that doesn't really work when I'm driving to work and have to, you know, drive. I can't like quickly jot a note to be like, yes, this was a 4.5 because of this. So instead of that, I started How Long Till Black Future Month by K. Abrams. Not How Long Till Black Future Month, The Wicker King by K. Abrams. And so far, it's interesting. I don't know how far I'm into it. I'm about like an hour and a half, 2 hours into the audiobook, I think. So maybe, I'm probably around halfway point, actually. It is just about a lot of really messed up people. Like, really messed up people. And because of that, I'm kind of struggling to connect to anything in it. Like, the idea of like caring about somebody, I get, but I don't know, everybody is just so supremely messed up. It's giving me, and this is gonna sound weird, it's giving me Breakfast Club vibes to an extent with the whole, just like I don't know. I don't know how to articulate my thoughts on this, so I think we're gonna have to wait till the end. But this is about Jack and August, and Jack is, something's wrong. He sees things that aren't there, and August would do anything for Jack, and it's definitely very unhealthy, codependent at the very least, and it's just, it's interesting, yet not engaging, I think is the way I would put it. Like, I am confused. I want to know what's happening, but I don't care. Is kind of how I'm feeling right now. And so we'll see how it goes. But right now, I need something to latch onto, and there's nothing to latch onto. So far, my favorite character is probably Roger, and he's not even like that important to the story. So we'll see how it goes. But that's where I'm at right now.
Alright, we're gonna deal with weird angles and poor lighting, but I finished The Wicker King. I know in the last clip I said I wasn't really into it, but I ended up really liking it. I think there's some things I think I would have liked more, but I think it was a really interesting exploration of codependence. I think is the main thing that was going with it, and I think it does that fantastically. I still love Roger. I ended up really liking Renee. I ended up really liking her as a character. But yeah, I just think it was so interesting that like, it was just a good exploration of that. The one thing I do think I would enjoy more is maybe seeing more of it from, what is the guy's name? Also Alex. Alex ended up being cool.
What was the, not August, Max? What was his name? Oh my gosh. I'm losing my mind. Jack. There we go, Jack. I knew it was a basic guy name. Jack. I think I would have enjoyed some of it better from Jack's perspective, because I think one of the things they're playing with in this is that we're never entirely sure if what Jack is seeing is real or not. Like, the obvious implication is that it's obviously not. Like, how could this possibly be real? But there are elements of it where it almost feels like August is beginning to believe it because Jack believes it, right? And I think it could have been really interesting to get some of it from Jack's perspective, and then it'd be even more uncertain for the reader. But I don't know if that's what they were going for, if he wanted us to be uncertain, or if, you know? So I think that, for my enjoyment, would have been interesting, but let us find out what I will actually rate this. That comes out to 4.38 out of 5. So pretty high rating. That'll round to, that's right smack dab in the middle between 4 1/4 and 4 1/2. I'll figure that out in a minute. Anyway, yeah, the ending kind of, there's some weird things, but everything lists this as part of a series, so maybe when the sequel comes out, that'll adjust, but that's where I'm at for now. I have no idea what I'm going to pick up in the morning. It'll either be, screw it, I'm just going to start How Long Till Black Future Month, or I will grab another K Ancrum. I'm not sure which at this point. I have gone through my entire list of books for this, and other than Scribd having some K Ancrum, there aren't any more available to me. So we'll see what I end up picking up, but I think I might be wrapping this up soon. So, all right, that's it. Okay, it is Friday. I didn't update at all yesterday because I was reading, but didn't feel like really doing it. What I read yesterday and today was an anthology called Black Enough, edited by Ibi Zoboi, and it's a collection of short stories about being young and black in America and what that's like. And it's got a lot of really great authors. Tochi Onobuchi has this short story in here. Jason Reynolds does. So it's got like a lot of really great authors in here. And now, not all of it was queer, so not all of it is necessarily for this readathon, but there were 4 short stories that featured queer protagonists, and 3 of them specifically were about being queer. And I'm not gonna take the time to really go over it. Well, I'll go through them quickly. So the one that was a queer protagonist but not about being queer was Woe by Rita Williams Garcia, which was about a young man who has visions of his ancestor. And it was interesting. This was, of the 4 that I'm going to talk about here, it was my least favorite. I gave it 3 out of 5. For these, I don't use my full rating system because it seems a little excessive for short stories, so I just kind of go with gut feeling. So 3 out of 5 for that one. The next 2 got 4 out of 5, so that was Out of the Silence by Kekla Magoon. And I'm trying to remember what that one was about. Oh, okay, so yeah, wow, 2 words in and I know what it was. So Out of the Silence by Kekla Magoon was a story about a young girl dies in a car accident, and the story itself is another girl thinking back on their experiences together. It was really interestingly done. Kind of evoked a lot of really strange emotions, which I liked. The other 4 out of 5 was Kissing Sarah Smart by Justine Ireland. It's about a girl who has to spend the summer with her grandma and then meets another girl, and it's really cute, and it's kind of a summer romance, cute fling. And then the one that I gave 5 out of 5 was Wild Horses, Wild Hearts by J. Coles. And this is about, it's kind of a Romeo and Juliet, but Romeo and Romeo story, and it's about a gay black boy who falls in love with a gay white boy who happens to be kind of from a racist family, but also there's like a rivalry between their families. So it's cute and it has to do with horses, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it. But that wraps up this vlog. I read 4 books. Sorrowland, which I loved. Let's Talk About Love, which I liked. The Wicker King, which I liked a lot. And then the short stories included in Black Enough. And this was just a lot of fun. I also realized like several times throughout this vlog that I could have just lied and taken those first 3 days and said it was the 3 days that this was supposed to be, but nah. Also, if we're talking about the prompts that Jessi had set up for Queer Blackathon, one was an author you've never read before, which everything except Sorrowland works for. Representation other than bi or lesbian, which was most things I read. One was supposed to be read a graphic novel, which I really tried to, but couldn't get any of them. So I covered all those prompts, had a lot of fun, and I think I'm done with work today. Today was officially my last day before the summer, so I think I'm going to be vlogging a little bit more over the summer because that's fun for me. So if you have any vlog ideas for what you want me to do, let me know. I have one really weird idea for like a 24-hour reading vlog that I might do again because I'll save that. And I think I want to do like a classics maybe reading vlog, not necessarily in a short time period, just a classics and maybe a childhood favorites. But if you have any idea for things you would like me to read in general, but if specifically ideas for things you would think I would enjoy doing as a vlog theme, go ahead, leave those below, and I will see you next time. Bye.